let's get to moving some dirt again this morning. So we got a little rain shower last night, which was nice to calm the dust down. We're gonna start out there in the pond again, making another cut. We're gonna start right up here at the dozer and start filling in this edge right here all the way down to pretty much those stumps, running our dirt all the way across. So before I left yesterday, I didn't get any video of it, but I think Jeff got some. If you watch his channel, you'll be able to see that behind the scenes footage. We set the laser up, went down there and started checking all the grades for what I cut out, and everything down there that I've already cut out is around almost 9 feet to 10 feet deep down there in the bottom. So that was our good target depth. We may dig out some down there in the center and make a good 12-foot area or so. But as far as that's about our target depth, is between 8 and 10 feet all down through there. And then we'll taper back up a little bit more and just keep cutting our dirt out and moving it all the way up here. Get a pond built. Loading more dirt out this morning. A little bit spongy from the rain. Nice morning though, the sun's hiding behind the trees. Nice fresh air. Open up the door in the windshield, get some nice fresh air before it becomes 95 degrees and you can't stand to have it open. We hauled almost 100 loads yesterday. I counted the drone footage, and that's our target for today. Unless it rains, is get another 100 loads out. foot of clay in with it. Just kind of get all the depth in one cut. You can kind of mix it together and still have a pretty decent material to spread out. Starting to come over the trees now. It's going to start warming up. We had a little rain shower, lasted for about 10 minutes. Count how many loads we get moved today. I feel like we're going to get more done today. Got a shorter haul. Making more progress. One dump truck load at a time. So that's around 20 yards per load. And what was it taking it? Slightly over 2 minutes to load it. 2.5 minutes at most. Making pretty good progress. Well, the dirt pile's starting to grow over there. But the pond's getting bigger, so I guess it all works out. So I was right yesterday when I checked that water level is just over top of that pile of dirt right there. So that whole dam's got to come up about 5 more feet to be at finish elevation. So making another cut out here. I'm starting to get a lot more clay now. What I think I'm going to do on the next cut is just strip the topsoil off and leave the clay. Or maybe I'll probably make one more cut to full depth like this and then start stripping just the topsoil off, because I can use some of this in the pond dam if need be. It still is a good material. It's got a little high in the moisture content, but it's still a good material for that. You can tell by how bad it sticks in the bucket. Anytime you get dirt that sticks in the bucket like that, it's good for a pond dam. I said I was going to start saving some of that clay, but as soon as I said that, it seems like the topsoil got 3 foot thick again. So now we're back to cutting it all the way down the grade, which is fine because where I'm spreading all this, it would be nice to have topsoil anyways. Stuff is heavy, packed in here. I think this is pretty much where that other burn pile was, so it's got a lot of traffic around it between the skidder dragging stuff and me driving around it, dump truck, bulldozer. of feel how the excavator's digging. It just kind of like bogs it down. Of course, I am trying to pull a 5.5 foot wide bucket through this compacted stuff with roots in it. That thunderstorm that came by went just to the north of us, which is good. We had a little shower this morning. Rain last night calmed the dust down. But you can definitely see the this has got some moisture in it right here. I mean, it hasn't rained in a while, and it's still relatively dry, and this stuff is about as wet as it can be without being mud. It ought to give him some good pasture ground though. Organic stuff has washed off all these hills down into the bottom right here. All we were doing is reclaiming it back to where it came from. When you burn so much fuel out here, you just call the fuel truck. Oh boy, let's get all this stuff fueled up. This does not look good. No. Oh, that really does not look good. Not good for grading. Might be good for burning though. Although it is almost 1:30. Wasn't planning on working late, but that's dark. It's about to fall a flood, I think. Well, maybe we can get a couple more loads out, and then I can get this bucket off, and I have a feeling that pile over there is still smoking. I may be able to grab a burning stump or something and throw in that other pile, but I'm not going to stand out in the rain and get soaking wet. Well, it didn't take long for the rain to get here. I think I'm going to let it die down before I attempt to get out. Yeah. Oh, the digging bucket feels small after using that cleanup bucket for everything. So since it's wet now, the truck's just going to slide around everywhere and make a mess out here trying to haul dirt. So with the rest of the rain that's coming, I'm going to go down here in that pile that is smoking, scratch around some, see if I can find something hot, and start that little pile right there on fire. Here we go. One pile is now on fire. I grabbed a stump that was still smoldering over here and dug around in the coals and dug out a few more things. Keep in mind this pile right here stuff is not burnt in probably over 2.5 weeks now, I would say. I threw a pile of brush in there hoping that would catch up. I didn't think the stump was going to catch on fire, but I was wrong. So I'm going to take this stuff right here from this pile and just transfer it over and add it to that one, and that'll get rid of all these stumps right here. Tis a nice day for a little campfire this afternoon. That rain cooled off to the 90s into upper 70s. Figured it'd be a good time to strike a match, even though I didn't have to strike a match. Didn't even have to rub two sticks together. All I had to do was just move a hot stump around. Whoa! There was some lightning in the background, and here I am sitting with the biggest lightning rod in the county. That was the thunder. Get all these stumps that didn't burn from that other pile into this one. I probably need to work on transferring it down from that other pile too while I'm sitting here waiting. Get all this stuff burnt up. Make it go bye-bye. It's always good to have a plan B for when plan A doesn't work. Plan A was to move dirt all day long, but I knew there was a chance of thunderstorms, so that's why I saved these piles. Plus, at the time when I burned everything else, I was not done stumping, so it was stupid to burn it and not have my brush to burn all the stumps with. But that's why I saved this, so that in the afternoon when it does rain or something like this and we can't haul dirt, I can fiddle with getting these piles burned up. I didn't haul them over here because I figured the stumps might still be hot and catch the pile on fire. That's the reason I didn't put all this in the truck beforehand. Now it's too wet to drive over here. As dry as it was, I didn't want to dump a pile of half-burnt stumps into here and then catch that on fire and then have a mess. Don't need a mess. Alright, well, let me finish grabbing the rest of this stuff, put it into the fire pile, and then I'll probably go over there and pick the few stumps out of that one that didn't burn and bring them over here. I think I'm just going to swing this stuff over where I can grab it. That way I can push it over there into the fire. I had mentioned it in the past about the fat lighter stumps. Well, pretty much what that is a, don't want to say fossilized, but it's a old tree stump from when they cut the timber 20-some years ago that has rotted down to nothing but the heartwood of the pine. So all it is pretty much just a giant piece of wood full of turpentine that I can just lay over here in the fire, and it will just sit here and take off into flames here rather quickly, and it will hold a flame, and I can just take it over here. I'm going to actually, I'm going to set the big pile on fire. The wind's blowing this way, more rain coming, that'll wet these trees down, and I want that pile gone. I'm sick of looking at it. So I'm gonna let that stump catch on fire, and then go over here and set it in the pile and have another fire. So my My stump has actually been in the fire for about 20 minutes now. I've been getting cold feet about setting this other pile on fire, but it does appear that more rain's coming. I'm going to set it on fire from the backside. The wind's blowing this way. I'm going to back burn it. That way it doesn't get so intense. If I set it on fire on the other side, it will literally be a raging inferno coming through this pile, because there is a lot of brush in this pile. So I'm going to set this right here, and that should get going. I'm going to pile some of this drier stuff here on top of it, and that should kind of catch on fire. And hopefully, the wind's blowing this way, storms will come from this way. I'm worried about that one tree over there that I'm trying to save, but it's the end of the world if we burn up one tree we're trying to save. I guess it's not a total disaster. Pile some of that on top of it, and that should catch up rather quickly, and it should just burn right back into that pile. Especially if I grab some of these branches right here from the drag there the skidder made. I know those are nice and dry. They've been sitting there about a month. As long as my log doesn't go out. I think it'll catch back up. It'll just take it a second. But that one's burnt down good. I'll give that a minute to catch up, and it should burn down pretty good. I want to say round 2's coming. Oh, and remember that fat lighter stump that I put in here? It caught up. Remember the other pile that was over there? It's about gone. It's been 2 hours on that pile over there. So hopefully that will get here about the time, well, maybe a little premature on raging, but that should get here and wet down those trees, and hopefully I'm a little worried about that one over there, but it is what it is. Gotta get rid of this crap. Oh yeah, that's a toasty fire. Storm's almost here. Wind's blowing in a great direction now. Oh yeah. That's hot. There's the excavator. I should probably back it up a little bit. I figured it'd make a good picture. Look at that. Well, hopefully you can see the fire. I'm on the upwind side of it now. Trying to get this stuff piled. We've got a good thunderstorm coming, and they just said there could be wind gusts up to 50 to 60 miles an hour. So that's going to be interesting with a flame that big, but it's wet. It really can't go anywhere. It's just going to be blowing sideways 50 feet, but kind of past the point of no return now. At least the wind's blowing in the right direction. So let's see if I can get these stumps thrown up onto the pile. So that they can at least burn better. Burn too good out here in the open. Kind of build a little bit of a wall here too, kind of deflect some of that wind. All the scraps from his garage they built. See where they ended up at. Oh, he threw all the flags. Really? Hired help. He literally bought that bag of flags to lay out the pond, and Junior threw them all out to the... Oh, I should probably pick those up because I actually need those. That's a toasty fire. That's a very hot fire too. This camera does not do that justice. That pile is almost 80 feet long. As that oak tree right there is probably 45 feet tall. I don't know if you can tell, but the fire is almost as tall as that tree is, and it's up on the hill. Alright, well, I'm gonna let that die down. Well, I am let it die down. Hell, it's got to do some more burning for it. Another hour or so, it'll be burnt down pretty good. Like this one right here. I'm gonna push it up real good and watch them for a little while. Just look how graceful that's burning over there. I mean, barely putting any smoke in the air, other than the little one right here I just pushed up. And that is probably at least 3 acres worth of clearing in that pile right there. So that's why I burn it. It's just so easier just to pile it up, strike a match, and be done with it. A little more raking to do around this one, and I'll burn that other one up there another day. These are the last 2 piles. There's a little marker flag right there. I really needed that one gone because actually all this dirt has got to go into that hillside right there. So that's going to work out good. Once that burns down, I can rake those ashes out, and then we can just cover all that up with dirt. Well, all said and done, it turned out to be a pretty good day today. We got rained out about 1:30. 2 o'clock I set that one on fire. It's right at 5 o'clock now. It's just a little bit left, and then about 3:30 or so I set that one on fire, and it's really burnt down good as well. So I'm gonna let that sit there and burn through the night for a couple days. I'll come back out here and restack everything up, and then on top of that we got all that dirt right there moved this morning from the pond. So we'll finish filling that in. I'll end up cutting a lot of dirt from in there, and we'll spread all that out, and all that's just going to get spread in there. And then all the dirt from right here is going to go from here all the way up the hillside, fill this low area in, and then start up there at the tree line and come off that hill and fill all that in, and just kind of make a big level area right there. That's the plan.